Hello, how's it going, cracks? Thanks for being there. This is The World, Maldini, your channel. Let's analyze what this has been. Atlético Madrid, 5-0. With a key player who has been Giuliano Simeone. I want to talk a lot in the video about Giuliano Simeone, about how he is breaking down or how he has already broken through the door, about what Simeone is doing in this Atlético de Madrid, and also, of course, about the match. I want to tell you that as soon as the summary is ready, with all the available footage, you will have a summary with all the images, and I will analyze it in depth with the visuals. Let's take a look at the 5 goals and analyze much more about what this Atlético de Madrid and Getafe match has been, but the match has just finished. And before we get the footage, I also want to analyze for you what has been a very comfortable match for Atlético de Madrid, what Getafe has brought out, the impression that Bordalas' team has left me, and the spectacular feeling that Atlético de Madrid is giving me. And especially today, of course, Giuliano Simeone, it was a great match for him. It was a great team performance from Atlético de Madrid. If not, you don't score 5 goals against Getafe. No matter how many substitutes Getafe put out, Atlético, the first semi-finalist of the Copa del Rey. Let's analyze everything and much more. All right, let's go. Well, as we sadly watch PSV just score, they have just appeared Alessandro Del Piero. Here you have Del Piero chatting. I don't want to bother you. I'm going to get really close. But here we have Del Piero talking with Fabio Capello. I guess you can see it. We have this Sabram. You know that here on the right is Sabram, and the other one is Okafor, who's here. Theo Hernandez, who is going to be a starter. Watch out for the left wing with Molina and Theo Hernandez. And well, absolute genius we have right in front of us. Absolute genius. One of my favorite players. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. The great Zlatan Ibrahimovic is right here. He's now involved with the club. Of course, how could you not take your eyes off Zlatan Ibrahimovic as he looks at the Santiago Bernabeu? The truth is that the stadium is absolutely crazy. Well, let's analyze, as I was saying, friends of the world, Maldini, this comfortable victory, this thrashing by Atlético de Madrid with one standout player, who is Giuliano Simeone. I have to say that the match was very comfortable for Atlético de Madrid. It's true that Getafe, and we're going to see it now, has put out a pretty alternative team. He's very focused on the league. I think Bordalas was perhaps aware that the options, given how Atlético de Madrid is playing, there weren't many. But of course, on top of that, it coincided with the first half. Let's see. One thing is that Getafe hasn't put out several starters. And another thing is that Atlético de Madrid, that they also haven't put out their absolute starting team. Let's put it this way. For example, Paul Barrios didn't play to start with. That Atlético de Madrid didn't have a sensational first half. Sensational crowned, among other things, by Giuliano Simeone. The emergence of Simeone is something that needs to be analyzed in depth because in the end, of course, I don't think there's anyone in their right mind who could, not even to suggest that he's playing for Atlético de Madrid just because he's the coach's son. I don't think there's anyone who could suggest that because he's been one of the best for Atlético de Madrid. Simeone is one of the great revelations of the season, not just for Atlético de Madrid, but for the entire Spanish championship. I have no doubt. And right now, he's an undisputed starter. For me, an undisputed starter for Atlético de Madrid. Giuliano Simeone, better on the right wing, which is where he played today, but in more positions, playing inside, moving around. The other day, for example, also in the match against Mallorca, he's been doing really well moving inside, and this kid has knocked down the door with tremendous force. With immense strength, Giuliano Simeone. The match was easy for Atlético de Madrid because Atlético de Madrid made it easy because Getafe, even fielding a somewhat alternative team, it's true, we know Bordalas and these matches are usually very complicated, but Atlético de Madrid made it comfortable. I think we can't take any credit away from Atlético de Madrid's moment and their match. With this clear thrashing, it's very hard to score a lot against Getafe. Let's take a look at the 11, friends of Mundo Maldini. I have to say that I loved Atlético de Madrid in the first half. I think he played at a very high level, especially in the first half. Then, in the second half, there were several changes. And naturally, it changed quite a bit. Quite a bit about the team, but this was Atlético de Madrid's starting 11 with Musso in goal. Today, Black was resting. Molina, Jimenez, Lenormand, Javi Galán. That is to say, with respect to what we expect, it will surely be the starting 11 of Atlético de Madrid. In the derby match, on Saturday, of course, Black will play. I think Llorente will play instead of Molina, and Lenglet will play. That is to say, regarding the defense, we'll see about the left back, but he will probably play Javi Galán. Center of the field, Lino, who is in great form, by the way. I think he's ready to start against Real Madrid. Koke will likely drop out, and Barrios will come in the midfield. And then up front, Giuliano and Griezmann, who could very well be the starting forwards for next Saturday. That is to say, a team with some alternatives, but a team that's quite recognizable. No, like Getafe, with Getafe, man, who was being the goalkeeper of the cup. Juliano Iglesias and Bernat on the wings. Bernat's debut on the right, for me, is one of the best things that Getafe has by far, with Duarte in the center of the defense. And yes, he has put out a more starting team in the center of the defense. With Gonzalez, Terras, Yeyu, and Alexola, the midfield is almost entirely made up of substitutes. Well, in fact, Terras, he also made his debut, and then up front, Ucho. And the referee has left Bordalas Mayoral out, who will come in during the second half. Let's see, Getafe, it's true that he's having a good second half of the season. Bordalas was named Coach of the Month last month in La Liga, but Getafe is still facing obvious problems. I mean, he doesn't have it. Not at all done in the league. And I think that in the end, once Atlético de Madrid saw that they scored 2 goals early on, I'm not saying he threw it away because Bordalas isn't the type to throw a match, but it's clear that the match has been much more comfortable than we could have expected for Atlético de Madrid. Here we have Ucho, who has hardly shown up, and Koke. Atlético de Madrid has played very well. He has played very well. It has had intensity. It has had speed in the circulation. He played a great match. Let's see. All the spotlight is on Giuliano Simeone, of course, but he played a great match again. Rodrigo de Paul, he hasn't finished it because de Paul is at a great level. Watch out for the level Rodrigo de Paul is at. And this pair has been devastating in the first half. For Getafe, de Paul made a goal pass to Giuliano. De Paul has been fantastic with that give and go he has, with that work rate he has. And he's been at a level for me very high. Rodrigo de Paul. What has Atlético de Madrid been missing? Barrios' talent in midfield, but they haven't needed it. Of course, that talent of Paul Barrios. I'm not going to talk much about Getafe. I'll tell you the truth. I'm not going to talk much about Getafe because the match is one to forget for Getafe. Practically nothing, just a few details from Uche, and that's about it, honestly, in the match. Atlético de Madrid, I say, a great Samu Lino. Samu Lino is also in excellent form. Then at the end, by the way, Correa came on. Correa ended up scoring Sola. It was the ultimate festival that I could have titled Atletico Festival in the thumbnail, but I preferred to focus on in Simeone because I think he scores the first 2 goals of the match. And then it's true that in the end, it's true that then a goal was disallowed for offside. I think it was Javi Galan who was just barely there. Javi Galan, it would have been the hat-trick. I don't have the memory here, but I think it's definitely possible. The first hat-trick of Julian Simeone's career at Atlético de Madrid. Because of that offside, he couldn't achieve it. The truth is, he didn't play much. Around the 60th minute, he was substituted because the match was already completely decided. And it's clear that he's going to be a key starter against Real Madrid. Because I say again, right now, no one can doubt that Simeone Giuliano is a key starter. Just like Simeone, his father, the coach, is a legend of Atlético de Madrid and is the great Atlético reference of recent times. His son Giuliano is playing at a very high level and is earning the right to be undisputed, just like he is. Friends of the world, Maldini, just like Giuliano Simeone. And there's a photo, I haven't taken it, of Simeone. I don't know if it's the day of his debut with Atlético de Madrid as a coach against Malaga, with Julian as a baby in arms. I don't know if it's from that match, but the baby has grown. And in what way he has become a footballer who right now, honestly, is practically unstoppable. As for the rest, this is Julian's goal. By the way, the second one, is it the second or the first? I don't remember if it's the first or the second, one of the first 2 goals of Atlético de Madrid, that both of them have been scored, Simeone with a header. I think it's the first one. Yes, it's the first one, since the score is 0-0 there. So it's the first one, obviously, with that shot from about Giuliano Simeone, who in the end was the man of the match. Well, Julian Alvarez at times, good Julian Alvarez. And as for the rest of the match, I say very comfortable for Atlético de Madrid. Tomorrow I'll be at Butarque to comment on that Leganés. Real Madrid on Movistar. And I'm going to comment while we see Samu Lino here. Also, he's in an impressive form right now. He has scored in several consecutive matches. The other day, he scored the first goal against Mallorca. Today, he scored the third one in the first half. In the final stretch, already with the match, almost resolved. With the third one, it was already settled. And in the second half, the substitutions came. I said that I'm going to comment tomorrow on Movistar, the match between Real Madrid and Leganés. In Butarque, Leganés Real Madrid. And on Thursday, I'll also be commenting on Movistar, the Real Sociedad Osasuna match. You'll have video, of course, of all the matches, because I have to say that as soon as the summary is ready, I've told you before, as soon as the summary is available, you'll also have another video with the highlights, with all the footage. And there I want to mention a few more details. But anyway, a victory, a landslide win for Atlético de Madrid with another player who is in excellent form. Also, as for Samu Lino, although of course it's nothing compared to what Giuliano Simeone has done today, Atletico is on the rise and keeps going. He's on fire. What a match. We're going to have the next Saturday at the Bernabeu. It's Real Madrid versus Atlético de Madrid, of which you will have, of course, extensive pre-match, post-match, notes, White Scout report, etc. Atletico is a semi-finalist. A hug, bye.